entrepreneurs, it's impossible to separate life from business.
Yeah.
It is completely intermingled.
She is the absolute queen of networking. Hi, everyone. Shaelene McInnis here with Books in Line. I'm doing a podcast with a wonderful person who I happen to like very, very much and care for very much, who's helped me in numerous ways to be a successful businesswoman. Her name is Marlene Marco, and if you haven't heard of her, I'd be surprised. She is the absolute queen of networking. I'm going to ask Marlene to explain some of the stuff that she does, and I'll tell you some of the stories about how her work has had such a great effect on me and so many other women. It's really helped us in many, many ways. This is Marlene Marco. We're focusing on wellness for the Ontario Wellness Network digital magazine. It's a free subscription. I'll put the information and all of Marlene's contact information in with the podcast. And so I'm going to do an introduction here. She's a lifelong entrepreneur with a passion to help build up other women in business. As a creator and leader of Heart of Networking since 2012, her passion shines through in every event she creates. This community continues to evolve and thrive and grow, I can tell you that. The pandemic became the impetus for a redesign, which, as it turns out, was in fact a true blessing. I agree with that. That's a good one. So Marlene, how about you introduce yourself to my listeners?
Thanks, Shaelene. That was a wonderful introduction, and I do have to say that our respect level and our admiration for what each other is doing is certainly mutual, because I know that you also love to help women. So I think that's why we and people in general, we should say that my really focus is for women, but I love to help people to reach their level of success. And through Heart of Networking, of course, that's a great way to do it, because we can focus our efforts on the business, the health of the business, which in turn helps the health of our lives. As entrepreneurs, it's impossible to separate life from business. Yeah. It is completely intermingled. And of course, that does affect our mental and emotional health, and often our physical health as well.
I would agree with that. Just so that the listeners know, I was fortunate enough to meet Marlene in January of 2013. That I remember. And I had taken a course about for self-employment. And so this was 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago. And Marlene had come in as a guest to talk about her networking. And I was, as soon as I met her, I was like, oh, I like this woman. There's a whole bunch of different people in there, chambers of commerce, all kinds of different things. But I was really drawn to Marlene. So I started to attend her events, always a great turnout. You meet tons of people, like-minded people, other people who are self-employed, so you can share your stories and help each other out. And I would meet people and go, oh, wait, but you know what? Why don't you go to this networking event? She's great, and there's all these different businesses there. And through Marlene, I can't even tell you how many hundreds of people that I've met. I couldn't even begin to tell you, hundreds and hundreds. Marlene's a person where if you're like, I'd really like to get headshots done, you ask Marlene, and she will put you in touch with the person who does headshots. Anything. I'd like to buy some Pampered Chef, right? Or I'm looking for some jewelry or anything. So, getting to know Marlene was a huge benefit and directly related to my success in this business. So I'm very, very grateful. If anyone is starting in business, new in business, or even if you've been in business for a while, I really suggest that you reach out to Marlene and come to the Heart of Networking events. They're so good. They're excellent. So
I appreciate that, Shaelene. That truly is music to my heart, to be able to help people make the connections, because that's where growth comes from, is connecting, expanding your ripple of connection.
Exactly. And then if there's nothing, but I haven't even had to pay for sales and marketing since I started my business, because, you get a few clients, then you get referrals, then you meet people at networking events, they get to know you, you see them once, twice, three times, they get to know who you are. And maybe you want to hire this person I've hired so many people to do different things for me through Marlene's group, just because there's everyone there. There's photographers, there's real estate agents, there are people that help downsizing seniors. There's everything you can think of, you can meet through Marlene. And it's a great way because, again, referrals are the absolute best clients you can have, is always going to be a referral, right? Rather than just someone you don't know. It's much better to have a referral. So tell me what else, what else is it that you do for the clients, for your clients?
Well, specifically, I would say I have sort of two areas of focus. One is creating events, which now some are online. We do some local in person as well. But the bigger focus is online because people can meet people from farther and wider. And as I said, that's been the blessing of COVID. But creating those events where we can spotlight and highlight the members. And that's where people get to shine. They get to show their level of expertise. I always encourage people to be generous with their, I never say give away the farm, but be generous with your help and guidance for people. And so that it's that creating the events and then plugging people into those events so that the speakers, the facilitators, they all get their time in the spotlight. And then we also attract new members in all the time so that those people get to know new people. And every time you meet a new person in business, you're meeting, I don't know how many hundreds of others now. Of course, now with social media, it's a big number. You might be in a room with 50 people, but 50 times, I don't know, 300, 500, whatever it is. And you've just made that little connecting point to all those new people. People, I don't think, always realize just how big that is.
Yes. It compounds. That's what it is, compounding. And I think networking is absolutely key for anyone who is self-employed. It gives you a chance to meet the people that you may want to hire. For example, I hired someone for my social media. That's not my area of expertise. So I hired a woman actually through Heart of Networking, someone who does my printing for my business cards. It's just such a great way. As soon as you get to know someone a few times, you get to see them and you realize that they kind of have the same outlook as you do, and they're people that want to help other people as well. That's what I like to do, and I know that's what you like to do, Marlene. I just think it's a great way, especially since COVID, right? Like with COVID, why don't you tell me the lessons you learned from COVID? You go first.
Well, it certainly has opened my eyes to new ways of doing things and new ways of expanding in an efficient way. We had a wonderful once a month luncheon prior to COVID, but that's really all we had. And I say all, I mean, it was wonderful and amazing. And, we'd have 100 people there and it was great. But now we have so much of a deeper connection because we can do more things online. We have 2 events consistently online every month, as well as others that are interspersed with that. And then we have a minimum of 4 in-person events locally per year as well. But the online, it's the efficiency of that, both time and cost wise. And they're all included with a membership, of course. And we just recently added our first UK member to the membership. So, and we have, US, we have members in other provinces. So many businesses are not, they're not restricted by geography now. So many coaches, consultants.
My business, my accounting business, I can take a computer anywhere now and just be fine.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it really has been just an awareness that we can do so much more. And there's really
Mhm.
no limit to how we can connect people. Our
Yeah.
3 pillars are connection, education, and opportunity. And boy, did those opportunities open up
Yeah,
since
exactly.
COVID.
Mhm.
And I acknowledge that a lot of small businesses suffered during COVID,
Yes.
and that hurts my heart.
Mhm.
But it is, things have to change, things have to evolve, things have to move on. And I was fortunate to have some guidance in that, and
Yeah.
some help to create where we are now. And I
Yeah.
have a wonderful business coach that I love to death, and met her through networking. Go figure. Uh, um,
Exactly right.
so it's yeah, it's that expansion.
It does offer a much larger reach. I agree. And it was for me going through COVID when everyone was locked down, it was so nice to at least be able to see people in Zoom, to still be able to, it was a communication that you could still do um, through
Yeah.
through laptops and computers. And so you still had that human connection. Because that would have been a very long, hard haul if we didn't have that. That would have been really terrible. So I completely agree with that. And it's just, I think I realized how important it is to connect with other people and to stay connected with other people.
It's all about relationships, and
Yes, it is.
building the connections and strengthening them, so that it's that repetitive,
Yes.
seeing
Yeah.
them, and we see people online, and we do develop relationships to a degree on social media, but I think when you can actually get to know them a little deeper and understand about their business life, when you're talking
Yeah.
about entrepreneur to entrepreneur, it really is about not just learning what they do, but why they do it, and how they do it, and what gets them up in the morning and fires them up. And
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
are the things on a deeper level.
Yeah. I like to look at it like that as well, because I think you find people who maybe have a lot of the same values that you have, that they're actually there to help others.
Yeah.
And if it works out for them as well, that's great. But I really like it from that point of view. And that's what I love about part of networking. I'd actually like to ask about the membership. Now, I have a membership happily with Heart of Networking, but I'm going to ask Marlene to explain what the benefits of having a monthly membership are. And there's lots.
There are lots, and that's how what I'm always looking for are even ways to add even more in. But our VIP membership, which is sort of our all-inclusive package, it does cover 2 events. One is our next level workshop each month, and our guests are our members are our guest trainers. They're our speakers. So a workshop and a networking event each month, as well as the opportunity to do a Who Knew session. And that's Who Knew, based on when we know better, we do better. And it's like a lunch and learn. And again, you get to know that member on a deeper level. We've done some on location events for those who have physical locations as well, so we can highlight them. You were mentioning about connecting all different types of businesses. All the members are listed on our directory, and they get a full profile on there. And I encourage them to keep it fresh and new, and really up to date, because that is one way that people can find who was that person that I'm looking for whatever, bookkeeping, photography, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then we also have a calendar of events. So anybody that runs any kind of events can post those on the calendar. And then we pull from the calendar to put them in our members' Heartbeat newsletter. So that goes out to a full newsletter list, and once a month. And so your event, even if people haven't gone to the calendar to look for it, it's going to go to them. And we have a really good open rate with that members Heartbeat newsletter. So those are all ways that we can get the word out that you are there. You can't be the best kept secret and run a successful business, right? People have to know that you're there, and know what you do that is maybe it's unique. we don't have any sort of exclusivity as far as
Yeah.
any categories or anything.
Mm-hmm.
We could have, 6 people in one industry, but they all maybe have
Yeah.
a little different specialty, or even just the different personalities, right? And the different sets of values probably overlap a lot, but just to who that person is that you're going to connect with and feel comfortable in that business relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
those are all things that come with the membership. And really, I have to add this. One of the biggest things that you have with the membership is you have me, and I'm full-time promoting Heart of Networking and you as a member.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who I am, is the promoter of this community.
Yeah, you're like the promoter and the connector. Just
Yeah.
the queen.
Yep.
Let's just call you queen. I tell you, I have had so many clients as a result of being a member of Heart of Networking. I've had so many of my clients is directly because I was a member of Heart of Networking, and those people got introduced to me. So the referrals are fantastic. Referrals are always your best clients too. So that was
Now, I will, if I can add something to that too, is because you are a prime example of a member doing all the right things. I have to add that if you sign up as a member, it's kind of like the gym, right? If you take out a membership and you don't use it, nothing's going to happen.
That's right.
But if you take advantage of all of the different opportunities that there are, and there are lots of opportunities with the membership, you did take advantage. You have over the years still are taking advantage of the opportunities that are made available to you. And that's why it's working so well.
Yeah.
It's not a passive membership. It is, you have to be involved and you have to be engaged, and it works.
Absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with that. I'm going to ask you, what is the best business advice you have ever received? I always like to know that.
I think, and I'm not sure exactly where I heard this first, but there's kind of two things. And one is to always be generous with your time and your expertise. Mm-hmm. And the other is to stay curious. Mm-hmm. And that's really curious about other people's expertise and really always learning and no prejudging. Like, you might hear of something, a new business startup, and you might want to say, "Ooh, I don't know about that." Yeah. No, there's no prejudging. They may have a secret that you don't know anything about, and they may just become the next most successful business. So I guess that makes 3. Be generous, stay curious, and no prejudging.
I like that. I like that a lot. Let me see. So how can people connect with you? I'm going to include it, but I want to talk about how they can connect with you, your email address, for example. And then I'd like to talk about your event coming up in October. So what's your preferred method of contact?
Probably email. It's marlene.a.marco@gmail.com. That one's easy. I'm Facebook is our most active social media. And we have a Heart of Networking events business page and Heart of Networking community, as well as we have a private VIP page as well. If you decide to take a membership, we would be added to that. So those are probably the best ways. And yes, coming up October 17th, we're very excited. Reignite, this will be our 11th annual full day business conference. It is virtual. And I know exactly what people think when they first hear that. They think, oh my gosh, a whole day in front of the screen. Let me tell you, the day flies by. You are going to be in your own home or, in a private space. So if you need to move away from the screen, you just do that. You are in control of your time. You will have the schedule ahead of time. So you want to make sure if there's a specific topic that you don't want to miss, you don't want to be stepping away at that time. So it's business related topics. Things like we have a lady that's an expert on podcasting. Mm-hmm. We have a lady who is an AI expert, specifically ChatGPT.
Oh, that's interesting. That's timely.
Yes, yeah. So new and different things to learn about. We have a business coach who is going to be speaking on what is procrastination costing you. Interesting way to look at that.
I'm totally watching that one.
And we have the one and only Shaelene McInnis, of course. And Shaelene, you will be speaking on the importance of selective, elective, and effective client onboarding.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one because I'm not sure that's something that most people think about.
Yeah, especially when you're starting a business. Yeah, don't think about it.
And then we have the wonderful Teresa Shaver from BACD. And she will be talking about empower, execute, and excel, pushing success strategies to finish the year strong. I can't believe we're talking about finishing the year, but here we are. So it is going to be a full day, a wonderful day. The registration, it's all the information is at heartofnetworkingevents.com. And you can just click on the button, go through the whole agenda is listed on there as well. We keep the cost low. The numbers escape me at the moment. And as a VIP member, if anybody's thinking of joining as a VIP, you want to do that before the conference because you do get a preferred rate for that day. And it's just a jam-packed day of topics that relate to you, topics that you can put into effect now.
Practical.
Yes.
And it's open for men and women. So everyone is welcome, right?
It's open to everybody.
So if you want to come in for a day of learning, and I've come to this conference every year for I don't even know how long. And every time I come, I get something out of it. Every single time I learn something. I just think it's an excellent way to spend a day.
And thank you to you, Shaelene, as one of our silver sponsors again this year. We really appreciate that. And I know you have a special offer for your clients. So
yes,
I'm sure they'll hear about that
very soon. Actually, my clients are going to be hearing about that special offer. I really appreciate this time with you, Marlene. I've known you for so long, and you just have done so much good. So if anyone watching this wants more information on Marlene, you can email her, as she said, or you call my office if you want, Books in Line. You're welcome to call the office and ask about Marlene. We'll connect you. If you are a person in business, Marlene Marco is the person that you want to know. I promise you, that's the first person you want to know. This is the first person you want to connect with. And that's about it. Anything else that I missed, Marlene?
No, I'm just happy to connect with people if they want to have a conversation. I'm always happy to talk to people who want to learn more about business and making connections. And I really appreciate our chat today.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much, Marlene. And again, if you want to reach out to Marlene or to me, call the office. We can give you everything. Thank you.
Thanks.